And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Page alongside Robbie Duff here from the Duff in Watertown, New York, as we're just about set for game number 2 of our doubleheader here between the Pioneers and the Rams. Elmira winning the first game by a final score of 7-3, as highlighting the first game was Christian Santisteban as he finished 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs. Also getting the win for Elmira was Logan Salo, moving to 1-1 on the year. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. As Robbie Duff joining me in here on the broadcast, and really, Robbie, a first game there, Elmira looked like they were able to capitalize in spots when you wanted to see them capitalize.
Yeah, absolutely. That game was really characterized by pitchers having difficulty finding the strike zone. And it was always going to be a question. You have those walks, you have those guys on base. Who is going to come up with the clutch hits or even the fly balls to the outfield that get in runs? And that's exactly what the Pioneers managed to do. And while we have a moment before game time, it's a good moment to thank the sponsors without whom Pioneers baseball would not be possible. And among them are Not Help, First Transit, Jubilee Foods, Multimedia Services, Hilliard, Harding, Holiday Inn, Corning Incorporated, Bully Hill Vineyards, Simmons Rockwell, Colin Bird, and Boulay Electric. So thank you to all of them for really making Pioneers baseball possible, and we look forward to hopefully a double-header sweep here for the Pioneers, Doug.
As we'll get a look here at the starting lineups, first for the Elmira Pioneers, as their top 4 guys will look the same as they have all season, as Chris Kaluzian will lead things off in right field. T.J. Dixon, he'll bat second in center field. Nick Walker, he'll bat third at the designated hitter spot. Christian Santisteban will bat fourth at first base. Taylor Skirpon will bat fifth at second. Taylor Hilson will bat sixth at third base. Derek DeLira will bat seventh at shortstop. Jordan Taylor will bat eighth at catcher. And John Armbrust will bat ninth in left field, as we'll take a moment here as the playing of the national anthem. So with that, we'll get now to the starting lineup for the Watertown Rams. As leading things off, it'll be the second baseman, number 33, Shane Servos. Batting second, it'll be the left fielder, number 16, James Bonds. Batting third, it will be the third baseman, number 39, Willie Martin. Batting fourth, it'll be the catcher, number 8, Jason Scholl. Batting fifth, it'll be the right fielder, number 30, Ben Wiley. Batting sixth, it'll be the center fielder, number 15, Josh Hassel. Batting seventh, it'll be the first baseman, number 9, Dustin Exford. Batting eighth, it'll be the designated hitter, number 32, Shane Dressler. And batting ninth, it'll be the shortstop, number 25, Charles LeBlanc. And getting the start for the Watertown Rams, it will be the current PGCBL pitcher of the week, Dalton Despain. As Despain coming off of his one-hit shutout against Elmira in his last outing. As, again, the starters for Elmira, it'll be Kaluzdian leading off in right, Dixon batting second in center, Walker batting third, the designated hitter, Santisteban batting fourth at first base, Skirpon batting fifth at second, Hilson batting third at third base, batting sixth, at third base, DeLear batting seventh at shortstop, Taylor batting eighth at catcher, and Armbrust batting ninth in left field, and Roberto Supa will get the start tonight for Elmira, his second start here at the Duff in Watertown, New York.
And for Supa, last time out, he threw 5 innings of no-hit baseball, and he'll hope to, well, he definitely does not need to quite match that, but the Pioneers would love for him to provide some length after their starter in the first game, Logan Salo, was able to go 5 innings. Although you have a fully rested bullpen here for this game, so no matter what happens, the Pioneers will have a couple of pitchers ready to go. And looking at this Pioneers lineup, a few interesting things going on. The first is that Zach Bellinger, for once, is going to get a game off, as Nick Walker will be at DH, Christian Santisteban will be at first, and John Armbrust enters the lineup in left field. And Drew Fisher won't have to do double duty on this day, as Jordan Taylor will replace him at catcher for the second contest. And how about Taylor Skirpon moving up to the 5th spot in the order and playing second base in this game? Really been one of the hottest hitters for this Pioneers team, and making a positive impact both at the plate and in the field, and he's rewarded by getting moved up in the lineup for this game. So it should be interesting to see how the Pioneers offense performs with that top 5, which has really been stable the entire season, broken for one of only a couple times all year.
As we get set for the first pitch here from the Duff in Watertown, New York, as it will be Dalton Despain leading off against Chris Kaluzdian. Kaluzdian picked up 1 hit in the first game as he officially went 1 for 2. Did score 2 runs, but both times he scored, it was after he drew a walk. Those came in the 4th and 6th innings, as a single came back to lead off the game in the first inning. So we'll see what he can do here to kick off game number 2. Elmira picked up a 7-3 win in the first game.
And Kaluzdian able to lead off the last one with a line drive single, and is hoping for the same exact thing here as he deals with the right-hander Dalton Despain.
And the first pitch is going to miss for a ball to kick off our game.
And Despain on the year is 1-1 with a 3.05 ERA.
As bat is shattered here by Kaluzdian, and the first baseman can't pick it up, but he's going to and makes the play. As I thought Kaluzdian was going to be safe at first, as it looked like Exford had some troubles picking up the baseball, but it's going to go down as a 3-1 as Despain stayed with the plate at cover, and that will be the first out.
And Kaluzdian may have hesitated just a moment after seeing where he hit the ball, maybe after breaking his bat. A nice piece of lumber has bitten the dust, but that was a really close play after the first baseman Exford able to recover, and Kaluzdian was just barely thrown out.
So that'll bring in the center fielder, T.J. Dixon, the left-handed batter for Elmira. And the first pitch will miss for a ball. Dixon did not pick up a hit in the first game, but he did have an RBI and a sacrifice fly in the second inning, as he was 0 for 3. He was also hit by a pitch.
As that one missed low, so a 1-1 count. T.J. Dixon trying to, it's a 2-0 count.
And the count now 3-0. As in the first game between these two teams, Despain was able to get Elmira batters to induce into a lot of first and second pitch swings. Elmira trying to see more pitches from Despain this time around and take at-bats deeper into the counts. As the count is going to go to ball 4 as the pitch missed outside, so it'll be a base runner for Elmira with 1 out here in the top of the first.
And Despain in his last outing, he walked only 1 Pioneer the entire game. He has already equaled that here. And now Nick Walker hoping to match the amount of hits that the Pioneers got in that 9-inning game. And they definitely are hoping for plenty more hits than that this time around. The good news is that now they've seen Dalton Despain, they have a better idea of what kind of pitcher he is, and they'll hope to adjust their approach to achieve better results. Here's the first pitch to Walker, and it's going to be up. So Walker ahead in the count 1-0. And Walker in the first game went 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a sac fly.
Walker getting just his first start as a designated hitter this season. Has either been in the lineup to play some type of position or has gotten some games off.
So position number 4 for Walker, second base, shortstop, left field, and now DH.
As TJ Dixon leads off of first after the 1-out walk. Despain checks Dixon. The pitch is going to go for a ball. So the count now 3-0 to the batter, Nick Walker, after Despain walked the number 2 batter, TJ Dixon, with 1 out here in the top of the first inning.
And here's the 3-0 from Despain.
And that's going to be called ball 4, I thought. Apparently it's not going to be ball 4. Now they're going to get Dixon in a rundown. So there was a called strike at the plate. TJ Dixon thought it was ball 4. And it's going to erase the Elmira base runner. And that'll be the second out of the inning. And that's a 3-1 count to the batter, Nick Walker.
And the pitch looked like it was outside, but Dixon maybe assuming too much before he heard the call from the umpire, and it cost him big time there. As Walker swings and misses, so now suddenly Despain on track for an easy inning if he can retire Dixon here. He retired Walker here. Dixon picked off of first base. But that one is low, so Walker will do what he does best and draw a walk.
So it could have been runners on first and second for Elmira, but now it's just a runner on first after the second straight walk. So that'll bring in Christian Santisteban, who had a big first game for Elmira, as he went 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs.
And for the Pioneers, that is going to be the 6th time this season that they've had a runner picked off. Well, it seemed like almost all of them came in one game, really a bizarre sequence.
And the pitch here is going to miss for a ball.
Second time that Dixon hasn't picked off this season, although can't really blame him there. That was just something crazy going on, yeah.
So Walker will step off to take his initial lead. With 2 outs now in the top of the first. The pitch from Despain. And that's going to be a called strike.
So Santisteban attempting to follow up his future performance in the first game with 5 runs batted in. Now a runner on first base with 2 outs and another double like he had in the last contest would have a chance to bring home Walker with the game's first run. Overall, Santisteban was 3 for 3 with a walk and 5 RBIs. He did not score a run, but he can't do everything. There goes the runner, and that pitch is fouled off. So all of Walker's running will go to waste as he heads right back to first base.
So the count of ball and 2 strikes. So Elmira trying to take a 1-game lead over Newark by picking up a win here, as Newark is idle today. They are off. Elmira came into the day a half game behind Newark, but picked up a 7-3 win in Game 1 against the Watertown Rams. So Elmira first place in the PGCBL West Division. The second time this year that they have been in first place. So this being their 19th game of the season. The pitch home is swung on by Santisteban. It's a grounder off of the second baseman. And safe at first is going to be Santisteban. As the second baseman, Shane Servos, had that hit right off his shin, I believe, on the in-between hop there. He didn't know whether he should glove it or let it bounce. And now that's going to put runners on first and second for Elmira with Taylor Skirpon coming up to the plate.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they score that one, but the Pioneers with a big base runner, and Taylor Skirpon batting fifth for the first time this year will hope to bring home the game's first run. And they are going to rule that a hit, so Santisteban will certainly take it as he's off to a 1-for-1 start in this game, and now 4-for-4 on the day.
Here's the pitch from Despain. That'll be high for a ball.
So Despain now 2 walks, so double the amount that he had in 9 innings entering the contest, but other than that game, he really has been quite inconsistent for these Watertown Rams with a
pitch here popped up in the air over in foul territory. The catcher going for it. And he can't make the catch.
Now, overall, Despain has a 14 12 strikeout to walk ratio, so the non-ideal combination of a pitcher who isn't so overpowering but sometimes loses the strike zone. He was on last time, but lucky for the Pioneers, he does not quite appear to have the same command this time around. As Taylor Skirpon sees that pop-up going to the stand, so it's a 1-1 count, hoping to drive in the game's first run. Nick Walker leading off second, Christian Santisteban leading off first with 2 outs in the top of the first.
Here's the pitch from Despain, and that was swung on right at the shortstop, and he'll flip to Servos covering second, and that will end the inning. So Elmira will strand 2 runners on base, and we will head to the bottom of the first inning. No score here from the Duff in Watertown, New York, as the Pioneers taking on the Rams in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Elmira already 1-0 on the day as they took Game 1 by a final 7-3. We'll take a break. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as Roberto Supa finishes his warm-up pitches. Here as he makes his second start of the year against the Watertown Rams. Supa, a junior out of Cornell University.
And he was actually selected in the 26th round of the 2011 Major League Baseball draft by the San Diego Padres, and hoping to work his way into draft consideration once again. He's doing a pretty good job of late as he's won his last 2 starts and has a 2-0 record and a 1.20 ERA on the season.
As the leadoff batter, Servos, pops this one high in the air. Delir says he has it at short, and he makes the catch. So a quick 1 pitch out here to kick off the bottom of the first for Roberto Supa.
And as you can see on our video feed, there are shadows over the field, so some of these pop-ups could be quite difficult if it's going from the shadows into the light. So it'll be something to monitor as this game progresses, although Delir having no problem with that pop-up.
So the lineup for the Rams is Servos, Bonds, Martin, Scholl, Wiley, Hassel, Exford, Dressler, and LeBlanc, as the left fielder James Bond steps in. Did not play in Game 1. As the first pitch ball will miss low and outside. Elmira defensively will look like this in the infield. Santisteban at first, Skirpon at second, Delir at short, Hilson at third. In the outfield, Kaluzdian in right, Dixon in center, Armbrust in left, Jordan Taylor behind the plate, and Nick Walker, the designated hitter.
As now a 1-1 count to James Bonds. And here's the pitch from Supa, and that one just misses inside, make it a 2-1 count.
Too bad his number couldn't be 007 out there.
Ooh.
Actually, I wish his Twitter handle was Bonds007. That would be even better. As he's going to swing this one into left field, but that one's going to lace foul as John Armbrust staying in his position. John Armbrust out of East Stroudsburg getting the start for Elmira. Robbie will give you some of his stats coming into this season for the Pioneers.
Oh, yeah, Armbrust, limited time, but he has played well. He's hitting .250, and he actually has one of 2 triples for the Pioneers this season. Even came in a pinch hitting appearance, so very tough to come off the bench and play well, but that's exactly what he's done, and hoping to see this opportunity to play in this game.
So a 3-2 count coming here to James Bonds after Supa needed just one pitch to get out Servas. Here's the payoff, and that one's going to be in the dirt, and it will be a 1-out walk issue to James Bonds.
So after Despain walked 2 batters in the top of the first, there's Supa's first walk in the bottom of the inning, and walks have really been the bane of his existence so far this season for the Pioneers, as he's walked 12 batters now in 15 1/3 innings pitched. And difficult to hit him, but he has to find a way to limit those walks and let his defense make some of those plays.
And here comes his first pitch to Willie Martin. Martin getting the start at third base here for Watertown. The first time these two teams met here in Watertown, Willie Martin came in as a relief pitcher for the Rams, and he did not have that good of an inning as Elmira was able to tag him for 7 runs in the 6th inning. As Elmira went on to win that game by a final score of 13-2.
And you look at Roberto Supa, and really an interesting season. He's only allowed 6 hits in 15 innings. That's almost nothing. That's actually only 3 hits per 9 innings, but
another throw to first. It's a close play, but Bonds going to be back safely. Bonds has showed some speed, and one time that he did play against Elmira earlier this year.
Excuse me, a little bit over 3 hits per 9 innings, but still, the hits haven't been the issue, but he now has double as many walks allowed as hits allowed, and that's something he's going to have to work on. If he throws strikes, hitters have not been able to do much against him at all.
And here comes the pitch, but another throw over to first to check the runner.
And in some cases, when you're too focused on the runner, 1 walk can turn into 2 or 3 if you're dividing your attention. Just have to focus on throwing strikes. And if the base runner moves, obviously, you would rather that he not, but the first priority always has to be the batter at the plate. And Supa now facing a 1-1 count, hoping to rebound from the walk and get the next batter, Willie Martin, out.
And the pitch here to Martin is going to miss outside.
So Supa behind in the count 2-1 or 3-1?
2-1 the count.
And
here comes the pitch from Supa, and that one's going to be fouled. And that one is going to get out of play. So the count will be even out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here between the Pioneers and Rams in game number 2 of our doubleheader from the Duff. As 1 runner on base for the Rams. James Bonds drew a 1-out walk. As Elmira stranded 2 runners in the top of their first inning on back-to-back walks. And then a single from Christian Santisteban. Throw over to first as the runner is back safely.
And for Supa, just trying to deliver a good pitch down in the zone and maybe get a double playground ball to get right out of this inning.
Here's the pitch. That one's right back up the middle. That's going to be through into center field in front of T.J. Dixon. And that will be a 1-out single, the first hit of the game for the Rams. And it'll give them runners on first and second.
And immediately out comes Jordan Taylor. He just wants to settle down his right-hander Supa, make sure they're on the same page. With a runner on second, you always switch up the signs a little bit. You want to make sure you know which sign is which, because if you're expecting one pitch as a catcher and you get another one, that's when wild pitches and pass balls happen all the time.
So it might be a little tough for the runner Bonds at second as he's got the sun right in his eyes. as he was actually having to shade the sun a little bit before Supa set on the mound. And the first pitch will be a called strike to the catcher, Jason Scholl, getting the start here in Game 2.
Nice job by Supa spotting that pitch right on the inside corner to the lefty hitting Scholl.
Supa checks the runner at second. Now he'll deliver home. That one's in the dirt, but Taylor is able to keep it in front of him. As the count evens up, Scholl, the number 4 batter for the Rams. Elmira now in first place in the PGCBL West Division over Idle Newark with their win in game number 1 to improve to 11-7 on the year. And a pitch here is going to be a called strike, so getting in the head in the count is Supa.
A couple of nice fastballs moving in towards the lefty hitting Scholl, and now Supa one more good pitch away from a strikeout, or he's hoping even for 2 outs on the next pitch.
And here comes the pitch, and that's going to be off, and now the throw goes down the right field line. They're going to wave the runner around third. Here comes the throw from Kaluzdian, and it's not going to be in time as the Rams are going to score a run here in the bottom of the first, as the runner at first, Willie Martin, for some reason was heading towards second and then was late heading back towards first and drew a through there from Jordan Taylor, and it went down the right field line. And scoring from second is James Bonds, and it's a early 1-0 lead for the Watertown Rams.
And that'll go as an error on the catcher Taylor. And suddenly the Pioneers find themselves trailing in this game 1-0. And a runner on second with still only 1 out. The Rams hoping to change things a little bit after losing that first game, and once again they have the early lead.
And that's going to be a walk issued by Supa to the catcher Scholl. So it'll be runners on first and second for the Rams with 1 out.
And for the Pioneers, you have to wonder what kind of leash Supa will have with really a fully rested bullpen for this game. Only had to use one reliever in the first game, and that was Matt Horton, so really a full array of arms available. And there's a swing and a miss by Ben Wiley, who we actually saw as a reliever in the first game. So don't see that too often, Doug. A picture in the first game and then coming in as the right fielder in this contest.
And the 0-1 pitch here is going to miss outside. So is Elmira in the first game being able to capitalize on some Watertown errors, and now early on the Rams have capitalized on an Elmira error on a bad throw from the catcher Jordan Taylor. Here's the pitch from Supa, and that one is a called strike. The count 1-2.
And we saw in the first game the Pioneers overcoming an early 2-0 deficit with 3 runs in the top of the second inning, and certainly not an insurmountable deficit, but you have to keep it right here if you're Supa.
And a breaking ball here from Supa that did not break, as that one stayed high. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the inning.
Supa has a double play set up once again.
And this one's going to be fouled at the plate off of the catcher, Jordan Taylor.
The umpire will walk all the way out to give Supa the baseball, gets to give Taylor a moment to recover. That's just part of the catcher position. You get those foul tips right off of you, and you have to, at least to a certain extent, be able to tough them out and get ready for the next pitch. But it's always nice when the umpire just gives you a moment to catch your breath, and Taylor and Supa now back to working here with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning and 1 run already in for the Watertown Rams.
And here comes the pitch from Supa, another breaking ball, as that one stays high. So the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. The Rams with a run in on the E2 as they have a 1-0 lead in game number 2 of our doubleheader. 7 innings in this one like there was in the first. Pitch from Supa is going to be swung on, as that one's going to be fouled over on the right field side, over the Pioneers bullpen.
So that one hit pretty hard by Wiley, but it was foul, so all this is a long strike for Roberto Supa, and one pitch closer to ending the at-bat.
So the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Supa sets on the mound. Takes a look at the runner at second and the pitch, and that one swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's a big second out for Roberto Supa, as he's now surpassed his strikeout total from the last time he made a start here at the Duff, as in his season opening debut he did not strike out any Watertown Rams batters, but he did not need any strikeouts as his offense was able to help him out on the opposite side of things.
And in that sequence, nice job by Supa after a couple breaking balls, coming back with the high 80s fastball to put away Wiley.
As the pitch here is going to miss outside. Supa, the most experienced pitcher that Elmira has, as he will be entering his senior year at Cornell. And as his 1-0 is going to miss for ball 2. 87-mile-an-hour fastball there from the right-handed throwing Canadian.
Yeah, I appreciate the radar gun here at the Duff.
His runners laid off first and second. Willie Martin at second, Jason Scholl at first. And the count now 3-0 to the batter, Josh Hassel, the center fielder. Hassel did play center field in the first game, as he went 1 for 3 with a double in that game with 2 ground outs. The pitch is inside, and that's ball 4, so 3 walks for Supa here in the bottom of the first inning, and he's loaded up the bases.
And for Supa, the question is always control. He really allows very few hits. Nice job getting some movement on his fastball, which usually ranges in the upper 80s, touching 90 miles per hour like he did a couple pitches ago. But it doesn't matter how fast it is or how it moves if you can't locate it over the plate. And this inning, quite a few issues, and now the base is loaded.
And the pitch is swung on to DeLear short. He gloves it. He's going to make the throw to first. Could have stepped on second maybe, but Santisteban catches it for the out. So the Rams will leave the bases loaded, as they do get 1 run in the inning on an error by the catcher. And after 1 full here at the Duff, the Rams lead Elmira 1-0. We'll take a break. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
Hi, everyone, and we are back here from Watertown, New York on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network, with the Pioneers trailing the Watertown Rams 1-0. And that pitch will be a ball from Dalton Despain, who managed to work around 2 hits, two walks and a hit, although T.A. Dixon was picked off.
Pitch here popped up in the air. And the
catcher will make the catch, and there's out number 1 in the inning.
That was Taylor Hilson that popped up, as it's the 6, 7, and 8 batters to bat for Elmira here in the top of the second inning.
And last game, the Pioneers really did a great job responding after the Rams came up with 2 runs in the bottom of the first, as they came right back with 3 runs of their own to take a 3-2 lead, and hoping for similar results this time around.
A swing and a miss here by Derek DeLear on the first pitch from Dalton to Spain, as DeLear moving up to the 7th spot in the lineup for game number 2 after he was able to bat 9th in the first game. Pitch here is going to be fouled out of place. The count quickly 0-2 to DeLear, who was 0 for 2 in the first game, did get on base and score a run as he was walked in the second inning. Elmira was 1 hit in the ball game against Spain. And the pitch here is going to miss outside for a ball. DeLear taking very closely to the strike zone there.
And DeLear on that first swing really came out of his shoes a little bit, looking to tie the game maybe, and now hoping to simply get on base. But a beautiful breaking ball by Dalton to Spain there, and DeLear is down looking. Nice 74-mile-per-hour curveball. And now coming to the plate is the Pioneers catcher, Jordan Taylor, replacing Drew Fisher, who caught the first game. And Taylor trying to redeem himself after that error in the previous half inning. And the first pitch to Taylor is a strike.
Jordan Taylor out of Radford. First player Elmira has had from Radford University, as he can't hold up here on the 0-1 pitch from Dalton to Spain. And the count quickly 0-2.
Ironically enough, Taylor regarded as the Pioneers' better defensive catcher, but struggling there, and you'll hope to show exactly why he was so highly regarded as this game continues. And can swing the bat a little bit, has a couple of hits, and has shown good play discipline for the Pioneers so far this year.
And here's the 1-2, and that is going to miss for ball 2, so the count is even. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Elmira trailing Watertown early on, 1-0, in this scheduled 7-inning game, second game of our doubleheader. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be called for strike 3, and that will end the inning. So Despain comes back with 2 strikeouts to end the second as he sits down Elmira 1-2-3. And we will head to the bottom of the second inning here with the 8, 9, and 1 batters due up for the Watertown Rams after they got 1 in the first against Roberto Supa. We'll take a break. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we kick off this bottom of the second inning at the Duff in Watertown, New York, as it'll be the designated hitter Shane Dressler out of VCU to lead things off here for the Rams. Dressler batting in the 8th hole. This will be the 8, 9, and 1 batters to face Roberto Supa for Elmira. Supa's first pitch will be a called strike. As Dressler attending VCU, that was the school that at one time Zach Bellinger attended, as he transferred out of VCU after his sophomore year. The count now 1-1. Here comes the pitch from Supa. And that one is going to be swung on and fouled back out of play, so he gets ahead in the count. Supa has allowed 1 run on 1 hit, and he walked 3 batters in that first inning. Gave up the run on an error by the catcher, Jordan Taylor, who tried to pick the runner, Willie Martin, off at first, but it went down the right field line, and it allowed James Bonds to score from second.
Tough play there. We have to credit Supa for limiting the damage to only 1 run.
Pitch here going to be fouled off of the glove of Jordan Taylor as the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes, with the shortstop Charles LeBlanc in the on-deck circle.
And Supa set for his 2-2 delivery. Here it comes, and took something off of that, but it will be high for ball 3. 77 miles per hour. Looks like maybe a breaking ball that once again didn't break. So Supa with a payoff pitch here to Shane Dressler, and a fastball swung on and missed for strike 3.
Good pitch by Supa there to go with the fast stuff up in the zone and get Dressler going up in the zone for his second strikeout of the game.
And here's the number 9 hitter, Charles LeBlanc. And it's Canadian versus Canadian in this matchup, Supa against LeBlanc.
And here's the first pitch, and that one swung on to Delir short. The funny hop, his throw is in time. Nice play by Delir, moving to his left towards the hole. And that's going to be 2 outs here, and back to the top of the lineup for Shane Servos.
And Ontario beats Quebec in that matchup, as Supa able to force the ground out with the help of Derek Delir at shortstop. And now here is the leadoff hitter, Shane Servos. As for Watertown, it's nice that they're bringing their leadoff hitter up for the second time in the second inning, but still only 1 run to show for it.
And the first pitch here is going to be a called strike. It's an 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Supa. Looks like that's what he's been right around 88, 89 on his fastball here early on in this one. And now he goes to the breaking ball, as that one will miss. Taylor Hilson charging in as Servos looked like he was maybe thinking about a bunt, started to pull his bat down.
And here's the 1-1 from Supa. And it's another ground ball, this time to second base. Taylor Skirpon Fields fires the first in time, and that will do it here in the bottom of the second inning.
So nice bounce back by Roberto Supa as he gets the Rams to go down in order. A strikeout, a ground out to short, and a ground out to second. As that'll do it for 2 full innings here at the Duff. As we'll take a quick break and we'll come back as Dalton Despain heads out to the mound for the Rams. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are set here for the top of the third inning from the Duff. As for Elmira, it'll be their 9-1 and 2 batters against Dalton to Spain. After the second game here tonight, as the first pitch will miss for a ball to John Armbrust, Elmira will be home for 2 straight as they'll welcome in the Albany Dutchmen tomorrow night for a 7:05 p.m. first pitch, as fans will be able to get free Elmira Pioneers flags courtesy of Jubilee Foods. And then on Sunday, the Watertown Rams will come in for a 5:05 p.m. first pitch, as the Pioneers will be handing out free Party Time cowbells, courtesy of none other than Party Time. As Elmira will then hit the road for a doubleheader on Monday, June 30th, to round out the month of June with a doubleheader against the Adirondack Trailblazers. Fans can get tickets by calling 607-734-2690 for more information, and by stopping into the Pioneers' front offices.
And here's a 2-2 pitch to John Armbrust, and he will strike out swinging in his first at-bat of the day. So another nice start for Dalton to Spain, as he hopes to hold down the Pioneers once again. He threw a 1-hit shutout against them in his last outing, but he has already allowed the 1 hit here, so no margin for error moving forward, and the Pioneers hoping to get a lot more than 1 hit this time around, as Chris Kaluzian comes to the plate for his second at-bat.
And this one's getting as high for a ball as tickets for Pioneers home games. General admission tickets start at $7. VIP seats are $10. And then students and senior citizens are $5. And children 2 and under are free.
And they count now 1-1 on Chris Kaluzian, as he deals with the right-hander out of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Dalton to Spain.
And here comes the pitch, and that was swung on. A chopper to the shortstop of LeBlanc, gloves it, makes the throw, and that'll be in time for the second out.
So quickly 2 away, as the Spain hopes to work another quick inning, but standing in his way is T.J. Dixon.
So Despain is yet to allow anything out of the infield, as Christian Santisteban's single was kept in the infield. And the first pitch to Dixon is going to be swung on, popped up to the shortstop who calls for it. And LeBlanc makes the catch. Didn't make it look all that easy, but he's able to bring it in. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Dalton to Spain here in the third. And the Rams come to bat in the bottom of the third inning, leading 1-0 here in Game 2 of our doubleheader, scheduled for 7 innings at the Duff. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And Roberto Supa finishing his warm-up pitches here to kick off the bottom of the third inning, as he's allowed just 1 hit, but has allowed a run, as Elmira trailing the Watertown Rams by a score of 1-0 here in this second game of our doubleheader here at the Duff, as Elmira, with their win in the first game, moving ahead of the Newark Pilots for first place in the PGCBL West Division, with Newark idle this afternoon. As Elmira picking up the win, moving to 11-7 on the year, and with the loss, Watertown falling to 10-9. As this is game number 19 for Elmira, game number 20 for Watertown. As James Bonds leads off the inning, and the first pitch to him will miss outside for a ball.
And Bonds walked in the first inning and came around to score the only run of the game so far. Here's the 1-0 from Supa. Swung on and missed. Nice fastball from the right-hander out of Cornell. And the count now 1-1.
Bonds was the first base runner to reach for Watertown in the bottom of the first.
And there's another strike. So Supa, who we've already seen his control struggles as he walked 3 batters in the bottom of the first, but a strong second inning and coming out throwing strikes here in the bottom of the third. And there is a strikeout looking as he rings up James Bonds. And 1 away here in the bottom of the third. The Pioneers trailing the Watertown Rams by a 1-0 score, and Supa hoping to keep it that way.
So third strikeout of the game for Roberto Supa, as he's now struck out 1 in each inning thus far, as the batter stepping in Willie Martin. As he has the hit for the Rams, he hits this one out to center, and making the catch is TJ Dixon after he started to go back, but then had to run in to make the catch, and there's 2 quick outs.
And you have a big hitter at the plate, you see the big swing, and your first thought is, wow, that might be going towards the wall, but nice job by Dixon, recognizing his mistake quickly and using his speed to make the catch nonetheless.
So that'll bring in the catcher, Jason Scholl, who walked in the first inning. And Supa's pitch is going to be swung on and fouled out of play. So the count will be 0-1. Has continued to be a nice day here in Watertown as the sun's starting to set, really no humidity, and just a beautiful night under the lights for baseball. As Elmira trying to pick up a doubleheader sweep of the Rams, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. A 1-1 pitch coming to the catcher, Scholl. And that one's going to be swung on as that one is hit out to right field. Kaluzdian running back, and he makes the catch as running behind him was TJ Dixon. And it's a 1-2-3 inning again for Roberto Supa as he gets an F9 for the third out as he set down the last 6 Watertown Rams batters here over the last 2 innings. As for the Pioneers coming up, it'll be their 3, 4, and 5 batters to face Dalton Despain.
And Doug, we're playing this doubleheader here in Watertown, but we have to talk a little bit about what happened at Dunn Field last night. Unfortunately, the game did not end quite the way that Pioneers fans would have hoped, but that crowd was really something, Doug.
Yeah, it definitely was a interesting crowd, especially there in the 9th inning as a group of high school students started bringing out some soccer chants, some old age chants, but it definitely was a great atmosphere all night long as 3,397 fans turning out on the night, and Elmira did fall short 1-0, but it was a great game overall on the field, a great turnout from the crowd. It was Stitch's birthday, free cake was given out, and it was just a great overall night at historic Dunn Field.
Yeah, now the Pioneers hoping to head back to historic Dunn Field in first place in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League West Division, and they can definitely do so if they can win this second half of the doubleheader. So you definitely want to be part of that electric atmosphere, so make sure to head to Dunn Field as the Pioneers return home both tomorrow and on Sunday.
As the Albany Dutchman will come in tomorrow for a 7:05 p.m. first pitch, as it'll be free Elmira Pioneers flags given out by Jubilee Foods. And then on Sunday, when the Watertown Rams come in, so the third time Elmira will see them in the span of 4 days, as party time will be handing out free cowbells to fans, and that should definitely help to keep the atmosphere of the games up and give a little noisemaker going on.
And it's going to be loud again, but for now, let's get back to the game at hand as Nick Walker steps into the batter's box to begin the top of the 4th inning against right-hander Dalton Despain. And Despain's first pitch will be up. So the count now 1-0, Walker getting ahead of the count.
As Despain faced just 2 over the minimum in his one hitter against Elmira. As the count is now 2-0. To the batter, Nick Walker, getting the start as the designated hitter in our second game. And the 2-0 is going to be a called strike. Despain getting into the count here.
And he actually walked 2 in the first inning, but has come back with quite a few strikeouts.
Pitch here is going to be popped up over on the third base side. And this one is going to fall in foul territory. off of the third baseman's glove. So that will be strike number 2.
Yeah, so in the second inning, it was Despain coming away with a pair of strikeouts, and then another one to begin the third, a swing strikeout from John Armbrust. So overcoming those 2 walks with 3 strikeouts, and the Pioneers hoping to change things a little bit as we begin play here in the top of the 4th, and a 2-2 count on Nick Walker.
Christian Santisteban in the on-deck circle for Elmira. As Walker steps out here. Delay the beginning of this pitch here from Despain a little bit. Now he delivers. And that one is going to be called strike 3 as Walker is set down looking. And that will be the first time that he's struck out in the game.
So strikeout number 4 for Despain, and here comes the hitter of the day for either side. That's Christian Santisteban. In this game, he's 1 for 1. Overall, he is 4 for 4 with a walk, a double, and 5 RBIs.
As he hits this one out deep to center, ranging back to center fielder, and making the catch on the run is Hassel. And that will be the second out.
And Santisteban hitting that ball a long way, but we're playing in a relatively large ballpark.
410 to dead center.
And maybe hit it 400, but not quite enough around here.
That's the first ball that's been hit by a Pioneers batter out of the infield in this game. As his single earlier in the game stayed in the infield. So to bring in Taylor Skirpon. He'll ground it into a fielder's choice his first time up. First pitch to call strike.
And Skirpon, once again, moving up to the 5th spot in the order with Zach Bellinger getting a game off. Can't say he has a day off after he played in the first game, but nice to see Matt Bursch giving his veteran first baseman / designated hitter a little bit of a breather.
And the pitch here is going to be a called strike, so it's 1-2 to the batter Taylor Skirpon with 2 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Watertown with a 1-0 lead against Elmira. Game 2 of our doubleheader. And the pitch is going to be swung on, fouled over on the first base side, but that's going to get out of play. Now Skirpon will have another shot at it.
And although Bellinger out of the lineup, Skirpon certainly no slouch in his own right. Really been one of the Pioneers' hottest hitters. And entered today hitting .314, so can't complain too much about Skirpon in the 5th spot.
There's a breaking ball here from Despain will stay higher. Probably one of the first breaking balls we've seen him throw that really hasn't broke into the zone. So the count even 2-2. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be high and inside as Skirpon had to back out of the way, and the count is full. With Taylor Hilson awaiting anxiously in the on-deck circle.
And at least for a moment here, Despain losing track of the strike zone, and Skirpon and the Pioneers hoping to take advantage, and at least for Skirpon, get on base.
Here comes the 3-2. And that one just caught a piece of the bat of Skirpon as he tried to hold off a swing that definitely would have been ball 4, but had moved his bat out just enough that the ball caught a piece of it.
Those involuntary swings are the worst.
And this one's going to be low in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. So that'll be Elmira's first base runner since Christian Santisteban reached on a single back in the first inning with 2 outs.
And coming up to the plate is Taylor Hilson. So the 2 Taylors batting back-to-back once again. And Hilson with a...
That's going to be over the third baseman's glove into left field. And stopping at second is going to be Taylor Skirpon. So it's a base hit for Elmira, and Taylor Hilson, he's got a 1-for-2 afternoon going. Elmira trying to put something together here with 2 outs, as they've got runners on first and second.
And I was about to talk about the way that Hilson likes to go the other way through the hole between first and second with a runner on, but there sees a pitch that he can pull and hits the ball hard past third base and gets a single out of it. So a 2-out bet for the Pioneers. They now have runners on first and second with Derek DeLear at the plate. And DeLear calls for time.
So that ball getting over the glove of the third baseman, Willie Martin. At third as Despain Sets and waits on the mound. Now he's ready. Delir set. Checks the runner at first. Not holding him on is Exford. And the pitch is swung on. That one's into left field. This one is going to drop. It goes to the wall. Here comes Hilson. They're waving him around third. The ball got caught up in the fence. And Elmira is going to take a 2-1 lead on the 2 RBI double by Derek Delir. Clutch hitting from the shortstop out of Florida International. And Elmira with a bang could be the big one of the game against a very efficient Dalton Despain. Definitely got to take it when you can against Despain, right, Robbie?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, when a pitcher goes out and throws a one-hit complete game shutout against you, like, the onus is on you. You really want to get a couple hits and get some runs across and really wipe the memory of that game out of your minds. And great job by the Pioneers. Derek Delir showing his sneaky power and delivering the big 2-run double.
And now the batter, and this one swung on. This one's going to be fouled, though, over in foul territory, is Jordan Taylor. So a great job of running from first by Taylor Hilson, as after he hit second, did not look out to left field to check on what was going out there. Just stayed right with his eyes on Matt Birch at third and continued to go home. And Elmira now a 2-1 lead. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Taylor. That one swung on. The third baseman, Martin, gloves it. His throw to first is almost offline, but a nice stretch by the first baseman, Exford, and the inning will get over. But Elmira gets 2 on the 2 RBI double from Derek Delir to lead 2-1 going to the bottom of the fourth.
And speaking of Delir, so he's basically played the entire season at the bottom of the Pioneers order, but he now has 11 runs batted in, and that's actually second on the team, only the Christian Santisteban. You look at Delir, and now he has 4 doubles, which are second to Santisteban as well. 1 home run, which we remember quite well from the Pioneers' win against Watertown.
Still the only home run hit at Dunfield this season.
Yeah, and those 11 runs batted in, and then add in 3 stolen bases, and he has really been a great presence at the bottom of the order for the Pioneers. One of those guys where you're going to have strengths and weaknesses in your lineup, but it's always nice to have somebody at the bottom of the order who can drive in runs for you, and Delir has been exactly that. And while we have a moment here, as Alberto Supa winds up for the bottom of the fourth inning, let's just say a quick thank you to the sponsors who make Elmira Pioneers Baseball possible. And they are Able To, a chiropractic center, the Auto Service Center, Big Fox, WYDC TV, Charlotte Law Firm, Corning's Gaffer District, Country Inn & Suites, Coca-Cola, CSEA Union, the City of Elmira, Cole & Bird Ford, Subaru and Jeep, Domino's Pizza, Dr. David Doskak, Elm Chevrolet, Grand Central Fitness, and you've heard a few. I'll have to go through them later.
And you can check the rest of our sponsors for supporting the Pioneers and making Pioneers baseball this season by heading to ElmiraPioneers.com and clicking on the team section of our website and clicking down on the sponsors to make sure and check out all the sponsors that make Pioneers baseball here this 2014 season. Also at home games, you can check on the signage around Dunfield and all the signage printed by Multimedia Services. As we are set here for the bottom of the fourth inning at the Duff, as Roberto Supa back out now, sporting a 2-1 lead. As the leadoff batter is the right fielder, Ben Wiley.
Yeah, right fielder and occasional relief pitcher, Ben Wiley.
As he is 0 for 1 in the game with a strikeout.
So he has 1 strikeout on the mound and 1 strikeout at the plate. Only one of those is a good thing.
And now the 1-0 is going to miss. So Supa did have a little bit of extra time in the dugout there. We'll see if he needs to loosen up a little bit, as that 86-mile-an-hour fastball missed outside. And now the count 3-0 to the leadoff hitter Wiley, Josh Hassel, and the on-deck circle. Elmira now with a 2-1 lead on 3 hits.
And the 3-0 from Supa will be a strike on the inside corner, so manages to deliver a strike and keep this at-bat going. And here's the 3-1 from the junior right-hander Supa, and it's swung on and missed by Ben Wiley, so the count is now full. Average only 82 miles per hour from Supa, maybe a little bit of a change-up. And here is his delivery. And that is fouled behind the plate and out of play. So Supa continuing to battle back after falling behind a count 3-0. And his control has definitely been much better after walking 3 in the first inning, but control has been an issue for him, and he has to find a way to continue working around it. It's 3-2, another pitch fouled away, so we have a nice little battle between Wiley and Supa going on right over here.
And you like to see, at least obviously, these pitches being fouled off by Wiley, but Supa, he's around the plate now after starting off the at-bat 3-0. Looks like he's maybe loosened up out there after sitting in the dugout and back into action here.
And a lot of fastball. Let's see if he comes out with the breaking ball. But another fastball, and it'll miss inside for ball 4.
So that'll bring up the center fielder, Josh Hassel, who was walked in this game.
And for Supa, you allowed the walk. Now bear down on the strike zone once again and try to make Hassel put the ball in play. That's now the 4th walk of the game for Supa.
First since the first inning. That's also the first base runner since the first inning for the Rams. Supa, after his walks, had set down 7 in a row, including a pair of 1, 2, 3 innings in the second and third. Behind the batter, Hassel here, 1-0.
And here is that 1-0 delivery from Supa. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch there. Some fastball with a little bit of late movement down and away.
Hassel out of Holy Cross. Check of the runner at first by Supa. And a throw over. And a very deceiving pickoff move there by Supa. Thought he was going to go to the plate, but almost had Wiley a little too far off at first.
We'll have to see if that comes into play later. There's another one, not quite his A move right there, as Wiley back in a little bit more easily. It would be quite a wonder to see Wiley pitch and steal a base in the same game, but doesn't look like he's really going anywhere.
As Wiley got a little extra dirt than he'd bargained for in his pants there on that slide back in. So he has to clear the dirt off. Now it looks like we're set to go.
Then again, Wiley already has 2 steals this season, so not afraid to go.
He truly is a Wiley Coyote. Now he goes to second on the ball they got away from Jordan Taylor. And they got all the way to the backstop. So Wiley does head down to second base.
So now the Watertown Rams with a runner in scoring position as they hope to tie the game. The Pioneers with a huge 2-run double by Derek Delier in the top of the 4th, but now the Rams spending runner on second with nobody out.
There's the pitch from Supa, and that one is inside as having to back out of the way was Hassel, and the count now 3-1 with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And looking at the Pioneers infield, you have Taylor Skirpon really shaded up the middle, almost as if he was at double play depth, even though the runner is on second base. So a big hole on the right side, and hitter will hope to take advantage, but doesn't need to, as it's another walk allowed by Brito Supa.
So Supa has walked the first 2 batters here in the 4th inning, and that'll bring in Dustin Exford.
Taking a quick look at Exford's stats, he is struggled a little bit at the plate. We saw him pinch hit in the first game, and that out made him 2 for 18 on the season. So he's a guy getting a start here in the second game of the doubleheader and hoping to make something happen after his rough start.
As Matt Birch is out here to talk things over with his entire infield, as it looks like Elmira's bullpen starting to warm up a little bit here, as a couple pitchers down there are starting to stretch out. Can't get an eye on their numbers, but they do have 2 pitchers down there starting to stretch out. Elmira used just 2 in the first game, as they got 5 quality innings out of Logan Salo, and then they got 2 innings out of Matt Horton, who was spectacular, putting zeros across the board and striking out 2 batters.
Yeah, one of those pitchers out there is lefty Zach Figent, so possibility for the Pioneers if Supa continues to struggle.
As they've got runners on first and second here to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Both walks issued by Roberto Supa.
So that gives him 5 in the game after he walked 5 in his last outing against Watertown.
There's the pitch as Elmira was anticipating the bunt, but it was a ball.
So always the question here about whether you bunt. If you can swing away and get a hit, you can have an even bigger inning, but the bunt would give you a pair of runners in scoring position. So always an interesting decision. And now the bunt is shown, and there it is. It's a good one. Supa will have to throw to first, and he does record the out. So the Rams give Supa an out. He will take it. After a couple of walks, it's nice to get something in the out column. But at the same time, now a pair of runners in scoring position for Watertown, and a single could very well give the Watertown Rams the lead after the Pioneers scored 2 runs in the top of the 4th. So a big batter for Roberto Supa and the Pioneers. And
that's the designated hitter, Shane Dressler, the number 8 batter, struck out swinging his first time up. And here's the pitch, and that one's in the dirt, and it gets by the catcher, Taylor, going home. There's the runner from third. And heading to third as well was the center fielder, Josh Hassel. And just like that, the game is tied up at 2-2.
Yeah, and for Supa, 5 walks, a couple of wild pitches, and yes, a rough time finding the zone. Like a couple of innings, we've really seen him. He's been locked in. He's been striking guys out, forcing weak contact, but once again here, just continuing to struggle. And there's a strike. In this inning, he allowed a pair of walks before the sac bunt, moved runners to second and third, and then the wild pitch scored that runner from third and moved the runner on second up to third base. That one is fouled away. Josh Hassel currently on third after Ben Wiley came around to score.
Batter Shane Dressler. The count is 1-2 to him with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning as the Rams have answered Elmira's 2-run top half the inning to tie it back up 2-2. And
that pitch is up, so it's now a 2-2 count, and the Pioneers kind of playing the infield halfway, and they might take the out at first, but no, now shortstop Derek DeLear backing up a little bit. We'll have to see what they would do on a hard ground ball to shortstop.
There's the pitch, and that one is fouled out of play.
And you look at the hitter on deck, that was Charles LeBlanc, and he was a little scared about that one. He hit the deck just to make sure that bullet line drive did not hit him, and luckily everybody's okay. So
as we work here in the bottom of the 4th inning of the 7-inning game, second game of our doubleheader. Elmira trying to pick up the doubleheader sweep, tied now 2-2. As this pitch is going to be outside, and the count is full to the batter, Shane Dressler.
And Supa is trying to get the strikeout. That would be the biggest thing here. Turn that runner at third base and have 2 outs in the inning. But unable to get it as that one will miss low. So the double play is set up. That's the positive thing, but that is now the 3rd walk for Roberto Supa in the inning. It's one thing to allow a walk to maybe pitch around one of the other team's heavy hitters, but that was just a walk to the number 8 guy that you struck out in the last at-bat.
So that brings in the number 9 batter, Charles LeBlanc, the shortstop who grounded out to the shortstop, Derek DeLear's first time up. Is Jordan Taylor going to make a slow walk out to the mound? So the Watertown Rams have tied up the game here in the bottom of the 4th inning on a wild pitch from Roberto Supa that got by Jordan Taylor all the way to the backstop.
And there is action in the Pioneers bullpen. Looks to be a right-hander, so a different player than before. Yeah, that might be Alex Satterfield out there, you think, Doug?
I believe it might be Satterfield. As now Matt Birch is going to make a trip out to the mound here after his catcher came in, and they're going to make the quick change to the number 9 batter here, Charles LeBlanc, as it will be a new pitcher on for the Pioneers, as Supa's night will be over with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning and runners on first and third, and a run in to tie the game at 2-2. Elmira took a 2-1 lead against the Rams in Dalton to Spain on a big 2 RBI double from Derek DeLear after they really hadn't been able to do much against Despain through the first 3 innings. And now they'll rely on a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And apparently we saw wrong. That looks like number 13, Brandon DiOrio. As one pitcher out of a college in Ithaca will replace another, as Supa out of Cornell and DiOrio out of Ithaca College. And the Oyo really has been a very good pitcher for the Pioneers for stretches this season. Maybe not quite the consistency that he would be looking for, but overall, the right-hander out of Ithaca has gone 8 innings across 4 appearances and a strong 6 strikeouts against only 2 walks, although a couple of bad outings have ballooned his ERA up to 6.75, figure he will hope to start lowering right now.
As Dorio did get a start in Elmira's game at home against the Niagara Power as he went the first 2 innings of that game. Elmira picking up a win in that one at home at Dunfield. As we're set to go here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as the batter is Charles LeBlanc.
And for the Pioneers, a little bit of a different look, going from the 6'5" right-hander in, of course, Roberto Stupa, to a shorter pitcher in the Oyo, but one who really has shown some good stuff for the Pioneers this season, and his objective will be to try to force a ground ball from LeBlanc and maybe get out of this inning on just a couple of pitches. And here's the first offering from the Oyo to LeBlanc, and it will be up. So for the Pioneers, they'd really love to have a pitcher coming out there throwing strikes. So the Oyo hoping to accomplish that on pitch 2 after a pickoff throw to first base right there. And the runner back in relatively easily. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We have a tie game at 2. And a pitch up from Brandon DiOrio, so it's now a 3-0 count.
So all the batters that have reached in this 4th inning for Watertown have reached via the walk.
Excuse me, it's a 2-0 count, maybe a pitch didn't count. And there's a fly ball to deep right center. Gio Dixon is there. He'll make the catch, but that will give Watertown the lead as it will go for a sac fly.
And that will be a 3-2 lead from Charles LeBlanc as he gets the sac fly out to center. And that'll take things back to the top of the lineup for Shane Servos. First pitch to him was for a ball.
For the second straight game, Pioneers managed to overcome an early deficit, but this time around they'll give it right back here in the bottom of the 4th as that pitch is fouled away.
So for Watertown, still just 1 hit in the game. Now 3 runs on 1 hit. Elmira 2 runs on 3 hits.
And the 1-1, and that's going to be a strike on the outside corner. And now looks like a pitch with some nice movement on the Oyo on the outside corner.
So Dorio did get his out that he was brought in to get, but did allow the run that will be charged to Supa. And they're going to say that the batter offered at the pitch, so the count will be 2-2.
Oh, a 65-mile-per-hour curveball, says the radar gun. So that 80-mile-per-hour pitch, but that is fastball. I just don't really get a perspective when you don't have a radar gun.
Here's the pitch. That one is swung on, hit out to center, and making the catch is T.J. Dixon. So coming in and getting the 2 outs is Brandon DiOrio, but the Rams fight back to take a 3-2 lead and answer Elmira's 2 runs in the top half of the 4th. And we've played 4 full here at the Duff in Watertown, New York. And the Rams have a 3-2 lead as we get set for the top of the 5th inning here in Watertown. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are set here for the top of the 5th inning from the Duff in Watertown, New York. Doug Page alongside Robbie Knopf, as John Armbrust will lead off the inning for Elmira against Dalton Despain, who had an extended amount of time in the Watertown dugout since he gave up 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning against Elmira.
And the 1-0 is going to the outside, make it 2-0.
Elmira trying to continue getting some runs off of the starter Dalton Despain, as he was named the PGCBL Pitcher of the Week after his performance last week, including a complete game 1 hitter shutout against Elmira. And the pitch here is going to be a called strike, so the count 3-1. Not an 86-mile-an-hour pitch. And the 3-1 is going to be a called strike, so now the count full to John Armbrust, the number 9 batter for Elmira, is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And here's the payoff pitch. That one swung on over towards second. Servos fields it. Throw is in time, and that'll be the first out.
And now for the Pioneers, they are back to the top of the order, and Chris Kalusian, as they hope to get something going after the Watertown Rams rallied for a pair of runs in the bottom of the 4th to take a 3-2 lead in this game. And he will be the first pitch to Kalusian from Despain, and it's a bunt, but too hard right to Despain. He'll throw to first, and
nice scoop by the first baseman, Exford. That one was tailing low and away.
And here's TJ Dixon, who comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on.
So the Rams with a 3-2 lead here. Then the top of the 5th inning.
Another bunt attempt, but that one is fouled off, I guess. Better to foul it off than to bunt it too hard and be out. So Dixon still with a chance to work his way aboard. As Despain 1 out away from a nice rebound to that rough top of the 4th in last inning, where Derek DeLear had the big 2-run double. And a weak swing there, and that'll be strike 2.
So the count 0-2 to TJ Dixon, who is 0 for 1 on the night. Popped up to the shortstop in the 3rd inning, also walked, but was picked off at first. The pitch is going to miss outside for a ball.
Borderline offering, and Dixon will take it just outside. So a 1-2 count. Despain deals and fouled away. So Dixon not going to go down without a fight.
As that holds the count. Elmira looking to try and tie this one back up. This one's scheduled for 7 innings, the second game of our doubleheader. Elmira won game 1 by a final of 7-3. Working against Dalton Despain. And that pitch is going to miss for a ball, and the count is 2-2 to the number 2 batter for Elmira, TJ Dixon. Nick Walker in the on-deck circle.
So top of the 5th, this game is really already getting down to the wire.
Pitcher is swung on over on the third base side. And in foul territory, the catch is not able to be made as that one got out of play. So the count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dixon battling up at the plate now after falling behind the count 0-2. Has now extended his at-bat an extra 4 pitches.
And Dixon hoping to steer a little bit of the momentum back in their favor after those 2 runs by Watertown.
And this one swung on by Dixon out to center, going back at center fielder Hassel. And he'll make the catch to end the inning. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Dalton Despain. And the Rams will take their 3-2 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning here at the Duff, looking for a split in today's doubleheader. As heading back out for Elmira, it will be Brandon DeOrio, as he will face the 2, 3, and 4 batters for the Rams here at the Duff.
And for DeOrio, it's always a little bit interesting when you have a reliever needing to sit down and come back out there. But if there's any Pioneer who isn't so upset about the Pioneers going down quickly, it's the Oreo. Gets to get right back out there and right back into his rhythm as he's able to record the final 2 outs of the bottom of the 4th in relief of the Brito Supa. And the Oreo pitcher maybe doesn't have the pitcher's frame that Supa does, but you look at him and you saw a few very good slow curveballs. He'll come at you with a fastball, maybe a little bit of a slower incarnation like a two-seamer. And there have been a couple outings where he has tossed a pair of shutout innings for the Pioneers, and he'll have to do the same thing right here and keep the Pioneers down only a run.
As he came in and he faced just 2 batters in relief of the starter, Roberto Supa, as he was able to get 2 fly balls out to the center fielder, T.J. Dixon, did allow 1 run, as Supa walked 3 batters in the inning. As the Rams stranded 2 runners on base. And that'll bring in the left fielder, James Bonds.
And for Supa in the game, he went 3 to 3rd innings, and he allowed only 1 hit, but 3 runs, all of them earned. And how many walks did he have, Doug?
As he gave up 6 walks in the game, and he struck out 3 batters.
So for Supa, the struggles with control continue, and 2nd and 3rd innings he looked sharp, but 1st and 4th things came apart a little bit.
As he walked 3 batters apiece, each in the 1st and 4th innings, and what looked spectacular in the 2nd and 3rd as he worked 1, 2, 3 innings in the middle of those 4 frames that he worked.
And that one is fouled away, so 1-1 in the righty-to-righty matchup between the Oreo and James Bonds. And
Pitch
there's
is swung on.
Ground ball to first, and Tatisman will take him himself, and this is the first out of the inning, so 3 up, 3 down for the Oreo to begin his relief appearance. And now stepping up is going to be Willie Martin, and he has the only hit of the game for the Watertown Rams, and that was a single
up the middle, as that one got in front of the center fielder, T.J. Dixon, that at the time gave runners on 1st and 2nd for the Rams. As the Oreo set to pitch to Martin. Pitch is swung on. And that one's hit out to left field. And that one is going to be a home run off the bat of Willie Martin. And that will make this a 4-2 game in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So you look at the offense for Watertown in this game, it's pretty much Willie Martin and the Pioneers' own doing with the walks and the error by Jordan Taylor. And now they find themselves behind 4-2 despite out-hitting Watertown 3 hits to 2.
That'll bring in the catcher, Jason Scholl.
And the Oreo deals, and that one will miss low.
Now hitting the catcher from Eastern Illinois.
There's a slow breaking ball. And the Oreo is working quickly and set again. And that one miss inside, so now it's a 2-0. And here he comes one more time. Finally gets that strike, and it is a swing and a miss. And coming out with his fastball after a couple of straight curveballs. And here's a 2-1. Another swing and miss. So that one was clocked at 80 miles per hour, maybe a changeup. And last 2 figures simply better than the first 2, as the Oreo has evened the count at 2-2 overall. And that one will miss low. So a full count. The Oreo hoping to rebound after that solo home run he just gave up to Willie Martin to give the Watertown Rams a 4-2 lead over the Pioneers.
As that came on the first pitch to Willie Martin. He was sitting all on that pitch from Brendan Oreo. Now this one out to right field. And that one is going to be gone for another solo home run as the Rams go back-to-back and now take a 5-2 lead as the home run from the catcher, Jason Scholl, as he touches third and comes around. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Ben Wiley.
So, for the Oreo, really a rough sequence of events, but the Pioneers still hoping he can get out of this inning, although they are starting to get action in the bullpen in case his struggles continue.
First time Elmira has allowed back-to-back home runs this year. And that pitch is going to be a hit batter to the pitcher, to the batter, Ben Wiley, from the pitcher, Brandon D'Orio. So that'll put a runner on first with one out, and that'll bring in the center fielder, Josh Hassel.
Number 15, Josh Hassel.
And it also provides a sense of urgency in the Pioneers bullpen as if somebody warming.
So the batter, Hassel, has not registered an official bat on the night as he's walked both times in the first and fourth innings. As the first pitch is a called strike here to Hassel. So now a 2-run inning here, and the bottom of the fifth after a 2-run bottom of the fourth has given the Rams a 5-2 lead against Elmira here in the second game of the doubleheader. Pitch here is swung on. That's going to be into left field, as that was over the head of the shortstop, Derek DeLear, and it will be a one-out single. It'll be the third hit of the inning, and it will give the Rams runners on first and second.
And D'Orio finally forces some weak contact, but in that case it is just a high chopper that gets by the left side of the infield for a base hit, and that'll be it for D'Orio, as we're going to have a new pitcher for the Pioneers.
As Matt Birch out to take the ball from D'Orio.
Yeah, we'll talk about the new pitcher after just a quick break here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcast Network. Hi, everyone, and we are back here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcast Network, coming to you live from Watertown, New York, where the Elmira Pioneers trail the Watertown Rams by a 5-2 score. And the new pitcher for Elmira is 6'7" right-hander Austin Von Herbelis, who enters the game with a 6.23 ERA in 4 appearances, but he's looked very good at times, and he has struck out 5 batters while walking only 2, so you hope that he can continue to prove that maybe his ERA isn't the best indicator of how good of a pitcher he is. As Von Herbelis takes his warm-up pitches, really tough turn of events for the Pioneers in the last couple innings. After Derek DeLear's 2-run double with 2 outs in the top of the fourth gave them their first lead at 2-1. It was the Rams that came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth and 2 more here in the bottom of the fifth, still with only 1 out, to storm ahead 5-2.
As the Rams have runners on first and second, both the responsibility of Brandon D'Orio, as Ben Wiley reached on a hit-by pitch after D'Orio gave up the 2 home runs, and then Josh Hassel with a bloop single into left field. They got past the shortstop, Derek DeLear. Von Herbelis finishing his warm-up pitches. He's actually the 3rd player from Skagit Valley to make an appearance today in the game, as both of the Rams players from Skagit Valley appeared in the first game for Watertown, as Javi Villanueva made the start for the Rams, went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, walked 6, and struck out 1 batter. As Austin Von Herbulus will see what he can do here for Elmira. He'll face the first baseman, Dustin Exford, who is grounded out to the shortstop and also laid down a sacrifice bunt.
And that one will miss low, so a 1-out count. Von Herbulus dealing with the hitter, Dustin Exford.
Runners take their leads at first and second. Von Herbulus with the pitch. The runners are off. And no throw, as it'll be a double steal for the Rams, as heading to third was Wiley and second is Hassel. And there's a strike at the plate, so the count is 1-1.
And just a case of the Pioneers not really playing the base runners, and how about the Rams taking advantage? They end up second and third with 1 out, so the effect of a sacrifice bunt, but you don't actually need the bunt part.
And here's a pitch that's swung on. It gets by Hilson at third. As one runner will score, here comes the second runner around, heading into second. Here's the throw, as it's not going to be in time, as it's going to be a 2 RBI hit from Dustin Exford. And it's now a 7-2 lead for the Rams. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as it's now a 4-run inning.
And for Exford, that's actually a big moment for him, as those are his first 2 RBIs of the season, also his first extra base hit, so congratulations to him about that. For the Pioneers, a tough situation becomes tougher as they now trail 7-2. And that pitch is off the mound and fielded by Delir, who does record it out at first, so finally, after 4 runs across the plate, the Pioneers get the second out of the inning.
As they kicked off the inning, actually with a ground out to the first baseman, Christian Santisteban, as James Bond started things off against Brandon DeOrio. So both of those runs get charged to DeOrio, so he will get charged with 4 runs in the inning.
And there's a hard ground ball fielded by Delir, and he'll have no play as a run will score. So a great job getting that ball by Delir, but couldn't quite get the handle on the ball and may not have had a play at first anyway, as make it an 8-2 game in favor of Watertown over the Pioneers. They've now scored 5 runs in this inning, and they're still going, as coming to the plate will be the leadoff hitter, Shane Servas, another one of those players out of Skagit Valley. And the pitch from Von Herbulus will be low, so behind the count 1-0. And he's set, trying to get out of this inning after plenty of frustration for the Pioneers, as that one will catch the outside corner. Nice job going back and throwing a strike there from Von Herbulus. And Von Herbulus, a bigger picture at 6'7", but very skinny. It definitely has room to maybe add some velocity as his body matures. And at this point, really not throwing overly hard, only hitting the low 80s. And there is a pop fly in the shallow right field. Exclusion comes on, and almost like he lost track of the ball for a second, as he had to make the catch a little bit awkwardly, sticking his glove out on his left, but he does make the grab, and now finally do it here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Watertown Rams explode for 5 runs to extend their lead from 3-2 all the way to 8-2, and at the end of 5 innings, in this 7-inning contest here at the Duff, it is the Watertown Rams 8 and the Elmira Pioneers 2. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers Broadcast Network. We'll take a quick break. And Nick Walker steps in for the Pioneers as they hope to find some way to respond against Dalton Despain and this Watertown Rams team, as Despain's first pitch is going to be a fly ball to the left. And it will be caught by the left fielder, and that is James Bonds. And one away here in the top of the 6th inning, and the Pioneers running out of time to make a move, as we are only playing 7 innings tonight in the second game of this doubleheader. The Pioneers did get a nice win in Game 1, coming away with the 7-3 victory. And here's Christian Santisteban. And there's a line drive single in the right field, and the Pioneers may lose this game, but nobody is stopping Christian Santisteban right now. Santisteban, that is his 5th hit on the day. He had 3 in the first game to go along with 5 runs batted in, and now a pair of singles here, as he now has half of the Pioneers' 4 hits. And here is Taylor Skirpon. The way you overcome a 6-run deficit, at least the way you start overcoming from such a deficit, is base runners, and the Pioneers have one now, and Skirpon takes a pitch outside as he hopes to be a second base runner, start making this game interesting. And the pitch to Skirpon is going to be up high, a little bit above the waist, and the umpire apparently not a fan of the high strike, as they get a 2-0 count. And let's see if Skirpon can find a pitch to hit here and draw the Pioneers any closer. And there is a flare in the right field. Will it drop? No, it will not. It's going to be caught by the second baseman, Servas, and there's out number 2. Looking for a moment like it had a chance, but just didn't get deep enough. It stayed on the infield. If it gets into shallow right field, that could have been trouble.
Yeah, just a tough break there for the batter, Taylor Skirpon. As really the second baseman, Servas didn't even catch it. His glove, he caught it in between his arm and the side of his body as he trapped the ball. As that'll bring in Taylor Hilson, who had a single and scored a run his last time up.
And there is a strike. And the last Pioneers rally came from the bottom of the order, and now they're trying to do the same here. Here's the 6th hitter, Hilson, and remember the 9th hitter, Delir, with the 2 RBIs for Elmira. As that breaking ball missed down and in.
Dalton Despain still pitching for the Watertown Rams. Last inning, he was looking at a 3-2 deficit, or excuse me, a 2-1 deficit, and now his team is giving him an 8-2 lead. As Elmira rallied against him in the top of the 4th inning to at the time take a 2-1 lead, but since then it has been 7 straight runs from the Watertown Rams over the last 2 innings.
And the 1-2 to Hilson is going to be inside and quite a bit low for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of inning number 6. Pioneers do have a base runner on as they hope to claw their way back into this game. And Despain set, and he delivers. Line drive, and that will be a base hit. So the Pioneers with a pair of singles in this inning.
Second hit of the night for Taylor Hilson as he's got a 2-for-3 night going. As that'll move Santisteban up to second, and that'll bring in the shortstop, Derek Delir, for Elmira, fresh off a 2 RBI double in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 on the night.
And excuse me, Delir usually the 9th hitter, but this game moved up to 7th, and it paid big dividends last time around as he delivered a big hit, and the Pioneers need a lift here, and let's see if Delir can provide it once again.
Here's a pitch from Despain, and that is going to miss for a ball. As Delir struck out his first time swinging back in the 2nd inning for Elmira.
And here's the 1-0 from Despain to Delir, and a big swing that results in a foul ball. So the count now 1-1. Delir thinking maybe about an 8-5 game with that swing.
So Elmira now with 5 hits in the ball game, 6 hits in the ball game for the Rams.
And we have already seen 2 home runs in this game, so a third one it's not all that improbable. The Lear hoping to make it happen.
And a pitch here will miss. And the count 2 balls and a strike. First time that Elmira has allowed back-to-back home runs in a game this season.
So here's a question for you, Doug. If the Lear were to reach, would the Pioneers pinch hit for Jordan Taylor?
That might be in the mind of Matt Birch, should that situation maybe come around. And a pitch here is going to be fouled back and out of play by DeLear as the count goes to 2-2. So 2's wild on the scoreboard.
Yep, so 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and there is a 1. Number 12 is at the plate, but still 4 2s, and the Lear hoping to add a 5th 2 with a 2-run extra base hit on a double, which would be another 2. So we can continue for a while apparently. But anyway, here is the 2-2 pitch.
That's inside for a ball, so the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the batter DeLear with the catcher Jordan Taylor in the on-deck circle. See what Despain does here with the count full. And 2 outs in the inning. Elmira trying to make a rally here, and stepping off is Despain. There's maybe a mix-up in pitches there. I really don't think Santisteban was going anywhere from second. Pioneers not getting the runner started yet. They'll wait. Now they'll get going. Pitch is swung on. Over in foul territory on the first base side, but that one's going to reach the stands. And the runners will have to go back to where they came from.
And you always like 3-2 and 2 outs because the runner on first has a big advantage. Holston already runs well, and now if the Lear can find a way to deliver another hit to one of the gaps, Holston should score from first base.
See if he gets a good pitch to hit here from Dalton Despain with a count 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. And stepping off is Despain, trying to get those runners to start a little bit early. See if he could get one of them picked off, not have to pitch to DeLear. And here comes the pitch. Now that swung on to miss for strike 3 as DeLear strikes out. And 2 runners will be stranded as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, an 8-2 lead for the Watertown Rams here from the Duff in Watertown, New York, in Game 2 of our doubleheader between the Pioneers and the Watertown Rams. As Elmira, after this game, will head back home to Dunfield for 2 straight as they'll welcome in the Albany Dutchmen tomorrow night, a 7:05 p.m. first pitch, as it will be Free Elmira Pioneers Flag Night, brought to you by Jubilee Foods. And then on Sunday, these Watertown Rams will make the trip to Elmira, as on Sunday it'll be Free Party Time Cowbells, as first pitch set for 5:05 p.m. as gates open 1 hour prior to the first pitch of all Pioneers home games. And fans can get their tickets by stopping into the Pioneers front offices located at the ballpark at 546 Lewis Street in Elmira. You can call the front office with more questions at 607-734-2690. As it'll be Austin Von Herbulus back out to work the bottom of the 6th inning here for Elmira.
Actually, it's going to be lefty Zach Pigeon taking the hill. Saw him stretching out earlier, and now he does finally enter the game. And this will be his 5th appearance in a Pioneers uniform, and he's actually struck out 8 in 8 innings pitched, so that's a positive. But due to many hard-hit balls, and he had a rough time the last time he saw the Watertown Rams.
So 2 6-7 pitchers coming back-to-back. Even though one throws right, one throws left, they throw you off when they get up to that height. So it will be Zach Pigeon. And Pigeon will be facing the 2, 3, and 4 batters the same way that the 5th inning started off, as the Rams almost batted around in that 5th inning. They were 1 batter off as the leadoff batter, James Bonds, was in the on-deck circle, but the pitcher, Austin Von Herbulus, was able to get the number 1 batter, Shane Servos, to fly out to right field.
And for Pigeon, really got off to a great start for the Pioneers, who are having a couple of rough appearances, and here in a game where the Pioneers are trailing, this is an opportunity here for him to go out there with not too much pressure and maybe just deliver a good outing and feel good about himself going into his next game, which could certainly come in a bigger spot. And there is a strike. Looked like a little bit of a breaking ball. And count 0-1. And Pigeon against the deal, and the pitch to Bonds is outside. Lefty to lefty matchup. Pigeon against James Bonds. And here he comes again. And there's a strike. Count now 1-2. And Doug, one thing you have to like about Pioneers relievers today between both games is how quickly they're working.
Yes, keeping a very fast pace and really not allowing these Watertown Rams hitters to really dictate the speed of the game, not allowing them to let them control the pace, and definitely that is a positive from the Elmira bullpen. And even though this is the fourth pitcher of this game, there's a strikeout for Zach Pigeon for the first out here. In the bottom of the sixth inning, Elmira only using 3 bullpen guys in this game. They only used 1 in the first game, so still you think, oh, this is the fourth pitcher of the game. Well, really, Elmira's only had to go to 4 separate arms from the bullpen, and they have 17 pitchers in their bullpen, so really haven't been taxed too much in this doubleheader here.
Yeah, the Pioneers are built for doubleheaders with their large pitching staff, and not quite the results they wanted from this game, but one thing you can know for certain is that this loss won't affect any future Pioneers games, as they will have quite a few relievers ready for their next contest at home tomorrow night.
And that strikeout by Zach Pigeon, actually the first strikeout since Roberto Supa picked up his 3rd strikeout of the night to lead off the second inning against Shane Dressler.
And he's the 2-0 to Willie Martin, and that one is high.
Willie Martin had a home run his last time up.
Yeah, the first hit for these Watertown Rams, and probably the biggest hit on the home run. And count now, that'll be ball 4. Lost track of it for a moment, but makes it nice and simple when you see the guy walking towards first base. And here's the other Watertown Ram who homered as part of the back-to-back home runs by the Rams. And that'll be catcher Jason Scholl out of Eastern Illinois.
So that's the first walk issued by Elmira pitching since the 4th inning when Roberto Supa walked his final batter. Now a grounder here to Santisteban at first as he'll go over and step on the back. So the runner Martin will move up to second on the ground out, 3 unassisted.
And taking a quick look at the statistics, let's see what those home runs meant for Scholl and for Bonds. For Scholl, that was his first home run of the season. He did have 3 doubles previously. And meanwhile, for James Bonds, excuse me, that will also be his first home run. Excuse me, for Willie Martin, what am I saying? Yeah, for Willie Martin, that is his 2nd home run. He now has 8 runs batted in overall.
And there was a single there by the batter, Ben Wiley, as the runner, Willie Martin, moves up to 3rd, as that one got in front of the center fielder, T.J. Dixon. So the 7th hit of the ballgame for the Rams, and the first given up by Zach Pigeon. And that'll bring in the center fielder, Josh Hassel.
And Martin base running once again, and when he was a base runner in the first inning, that led to the first run for Watertown, as after a ball got away from Jordan Taylor just a little bit, Taylor saw Martin ranging a little bit too far off first base and decided to try to throw to Christian Santisteban to pick him off. Instead, Taylor threw the ball away, and that gave Watertown a 1-0 lead. The Pioneers finally coming back into 4th as Derek DeLear delivered a 2-run double, but it has been all Watertown since then. As Pigeon behind the count, 3-0, dealing with Josh Hassel.
And for Ben Wiley, that single, that was his first hit of the night. Had been 0 for 1 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a struck out in the first inning. And this here pitch is going to miss, so a walk will load the bases up the 2nd of the inning for Zach Pigeon.
And for the Pioneers, it's a matter of damage control. You're already down by 6 runs, and now the base is loaded, and let's see if Pigeon can get out of it without the deficit growing any larger.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Justin Exford, who had a double back in the 5th inning. Also had a sac bunt in the 4th inning that led to 2 runs, eventually coming around to score for the Watertown Rams.
And Pigeon deals, and that one will be high. So bases loaded. He has to find a way to throw a strike here, but unable to do so on that first pitch. And here's Exford, who had quite a big hit in this game, Doug.
As Exford having the first hit against the new pitcher, Austin Von Herbulis, back in that 5th inning. And then Von Herbulis would be able to get out of the inning by getting a ground out and a fly out from the next 2 batters.
As Pigeon throws a nice breaking ball to get ahead in the count 1-2 on Dustin Exford. And that one will be up and away, so they get a 2-2 count. So Pigeon, maybe with one more pitch of leeway where he can try to get Exford to expand his zone, but certainly don't want to walk him here. And now that leeway is gone. Breaking ball low, Exford unwilling to chase.
And nowhere to put the batter Exford without walking in a run. And here's the pitch. And that one is swung on right at Hilson at third. He gloves it, makes the throw. Nice scoop by Santisteban. And that will end the inning as the Rams will leave the bases loaded as that goes down 5-3. And we will head to the top of the 7th inning, which here in our 7-inning doubleheader could signal the final inning for Elmira. As we will take a quick break. When we come back, Elmira will bat in the top of the 7th inning against Dalton Despain, who looks to try and go the whole way here in the scheduled 7-inning affair at the Duff here in Watertown, New York, with the Watertown Rams leading the Pioneers by a score of 8-2. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're ready to kick off the top of the 7th inning as Dalton Despain back out to pitch for the Rams as he's went 6 innings thus far and has allowed 2 runs on 5 hits here against the Pioneers as the Watertown Rams lead Elmira by a score of 8-2 here in the top of the 7th inning from the Duff as the Pioneers looking to split this doubleheader as they won Game 1 7-3. Yeah, starting off the inning for Elmira, it'll be the catcher, Jordan Taylor, as he will bat here in the 7th inning. 0 for 2 on the night, a ground out and a strikeout.
And that one will also miss low, so Taylor ahead in the count 2-0 as Despain trying for his 2nd straight complete game against the Pioneers, although this one of the 7-inning variety. And there's a strike. And Taylor, after getting spotted a couple of pitches, now sees Despain get right back in the count. And that one is hit hard, but it is going to be a fair ball down the left field line, and Taylor into second base. That will be his first extra base hit as an Elmira Pioneer.
And a big hit for the catcher, Jordan Taylor, is kicks the inning off right for Elmira with a leadoff double. Trying to give Elmira some life here in the top of the 7th inning against Dalton Despain. As that'll be Elmira's 6th hit in the ball game.
Now, the bottom of the order, hoping to make something happen for the Pioneers here as the 9th hitter, Armbrust, comes up with leadoff man Chris Calusian on deck. And pitch to Armbrust is high, and it's always nice to maybe get some of the bench guys for the Pioneers an opportunity. And Armbrust in a pretty big spot here with the runner in scoring position and the Pioneers hoping to come back. getting the start with Zach Bellinger getting the day off. And there he swings and misses, so it is a 1-1 count as Pioneers trying to get something going against Dalton Despain. They do have the runner on second, but going to take a little bit more than that after how good Despain has been. Has a little bit of a leash from this Watertown management. As that one is low, so Armbrust heading to count 2-1. After Taylor was heading to count, he was able to zone in on a pitch in a specific location and drill a double, and Armbrust maybe the same strategy here. Let's see what Despain comes with. It is a breaking ball down in the zone, so 3-1, Armbrust ahead.
So thus far through the two games, Watertown has used 4 combined pitchers, and Elmira has used 6 combined pitchers.
And here's the 3-1 to John Armbrust, and it'll be inside for ball 4. So Pioneers with a pair of base runners on, and don't even have an out yet in the inning. And it is very difficult to come back from a 6-run deficit in the 9th, but the way you begin such a comeback is a pair of base runners on without an out. And out comes the pitching coach for this Watertown Rams team, talking to the right-hander out of Texas, Corpus Christi, Despain.
So for the Elmira Pioneers as batters, that is the 4th walk that has been issued by Dalton Despain. As the last 2 times that Elmira has taken a walk from Despain, it's kind of got the inning kicked off here for the Pioneers as Despain walked back-to-back batters back in the first inning. He walked Dixon and then Walker. Elmira didn't score in the inning, but they definitely got some things going. And then in the 4th inning, as Despain walked Taylor Skirpon with 2 outs, and Elmira was able to obviously get their 2 runs in that inning off the 2 RBI double from Derek DeLear. So the batter now will be Chris Galuzian facing here against Dalton Despain. Top of the 7th inning, Elmira trailing by an 8-2 score. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be swung on. That one's hit out to center, ranging under is Hassel, and he makes the catch as the runners will have to head back to their bases. So for Chris Galuzian, an 0-for-4 night for him. 2 ground outs to the pitcher, a ground out to the shortstop, and now a fly out to the center fielder.
Galuzian hit the ball hard there, but he has hit it in precisely the wrong spot as the center fielder was right there for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th inning. And once again, this will be the last half inning if the Pioneers don't manage to tie the game.
So Despain will deliver his pitch. That one swung on. That one ranging back. The center fielder Hessel again makes the catch, and having to go back to the bases is Elmira. So after they started out the inning with a double and a walk, now 2 flyouts back-to-back from Galuzian and Dixon have put Elmira down to potentially their last out in this one here in the second game of our doubleheader as Nick Walker will step in. Elmira trailing Watertown 8-2 here in game number 2. Elmira took game 1 by a final 7-3. As Dalton Despain looks into Walker, who is 0-for-2 in this game with a walk. Gets the signs from his catcher Scholl and delivers home. And this is a called strike.
So Pioneers hoping to extend this ball game. You have Nick Walker at the plate, certainly a hitter who's a candidate to make something happen. And here's the 0-1.
And the pitch is swung on, but that's going to be foul down the first base side. So now Elmira potentially down to their last strike in a no-ball 2-strike count. Despain looking to try and go the full distance, 7 innings here in our doubleheader. Would give him a complete game. Elmira able to get a little bit more out of him this time than the last time he saw Elmira and win a complete game. Runners lead off first and second. And here's the 0-2 pitch to Walker, and that's going to be a grounder over on the right-hand side. The first baseman gloves it to throw to first, and Despain covers, and that will end the game. As Elmira will fall in the second game of the doubleheader by a final score of 8-2. So Elmira will fall to 11-8 on the year with the loss. And with the win, Watertown will improve to 11-9. So as the way things stand, Elmira right now will be tied with Newark for first place, and the Watertown Rams will sit a half game back of first place at 11-9, as Elmira will welcome in the Albany Dutchmen tomorrow night at Dunn Field. A 7:05 p.m. first pitch, as it's Free Elmira Pioneers Flag Night, brought to you by Jubilee Foods. As our player of the game here in Game 2 for Elmira in the loss, Derek DeLear picks up the 2 RBI double in the 4th inning for Elmira that scores their 2 runs, as he goes 1 for 3 on the night, as Elmira goes 1-1 in the doubleheader. And Christian Santisteban, over the course of the 2 games, picks up 5 hits as he went 3 for 3 in game number 1, came to the plate 4 times as he walked in the 1st inning, and then in the 2nd game he picked up 2 singles and also flew out to the center fielder in the 4th inning. So that will do it for our broadcast here tonight. We thank you for listening in. For Doug Page alongside Robbie Knopf, Elmira coming back to Dunn Field with a tie atop the PGCBL Western Division at 11-8 through 19 games on the season. We thank you for listening in. So long and good night until our broadcast tomorrow night from Dunn Field, with first pitch scheduled for 7:05 p.m. So long and good night.